I think in terms of that sort of town hall meeting, it was to discuss Del Mar Divide, which is what's used. There's a road, Del Mar, which again divides the city racially and economically, and it's like 8 Mile, essentially, in Detroit. It's like that same thing.
From that movie with that
yeah,
rapper? What is that guy's name?
Exactly. Yeah. And so that actually was like, that event, people were really I mean, there wasn't, it was more of like, it was like, thank God someone like brought this to light. Like, I don't feel like it wasn't that there weren't tense conversations, because it was really interesting watching this thing, but and it actually came about because of sort of tense conversations that had happened, because the BBC did this segment on the Del Mar Divide and like how what it represented in this community, and the questions of like, why does this happen in American cities, and I guess when that aired, people here were pretty pissed, because it brought attention to the city that was like internationally, right, that was like, this is nothing but a segregated and economically depressed city.
Was it an extensive, like, was it like a documentary piece, or like a 5-minute bit?
It was like 15 minutes. It's like 15. It's like really short.
That's how it boiled down an issue.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're going to talk about economic and racial politics in the United States in the next 4 minutes.
Yeah. No, it was like, so they brought this reporter back, and for this event, and then just all these different figures from the community, and it was essentially the moment where they could like.
I just had this vision of like, we brought this figure back, and then we got some tar, feathers, put them on the next train out.
It was a pretty powerful, having sat through so many, typical art world lectures and events. It was a pretty powerful thing. I mean, we had like, people are like, amen. It was like a total like, revival or something was going on. It was really passionate, and it was exciting to see that, because one, because I think that it offers a way into arts institutions for an audience that may not, ever step foot. Like, I just think that it was like it makes you stop thinking about like, how should one act, or how should one be in like the art world or something like that, because because I think that's what makes it difficult for a lot of people to, really get involved with the arts, because it's just so, the institutions that envelop the content can really hold people back from actually like engaging. So that's,
Yeah, no, I think that sounds absolutely right. Pretension sometimes resists other humans.
Yeah. What's been really interesting for me is that in my own practice, I'm just having to think about totally different questions. Working at MoMA, you didn't have to think about like, well, will anyone actually see this? Because you
knew 25,000 people a day would.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter, like, I mean, sure, there was so much care, and I mean, it was, there is a very, very reasoned schedule on there. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's not like willy-nilly, like, whatever, we'll do whatever and people will come. No, I mean, there's obviously a huge, like, but on the other hand, as a curator, you just don't have to answer as many questions about like, how will this communicate? What are the questions that I'm asking? How does that relate to everyday life? Like, how does that, so here I'm just like, the questions that I ask myself about what I do and what I'm presenting and what I'm thinking about and how I'm communicating it, look at a much broader spectrum